Okay, Robert, thank you so much for coming on the Mindful Parenting podcast.
Thanks for having me on.
I'm thrilled that you're here. And like I was saying, it's interesting to talk to you because I have given talks around the world about how to stop yelling. And I show a slide of your book, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. So I know we're not here to talk about why zebras don't get ulcers, but I love the title of that book. Can you just tell us a little bit about the premise of that book before we dive into everything else?
Its subtitle, actually, I don't even remember what the subtitle is anymore, but it's something like a guide to stress-related diseases and coping. And its basic theme is that we are just like every other vertebrate on Earth, in that when we get stressed, we secrete the same stress hormones as every other species out there, the identical thing. And then we are unlike any other species on Earth in that we turn on the stress response for totally bizarre reasons. If you're your basic animal who's being stressed, either somebody is very intent on eating you or you're very intent on eating somebody, and everything that you're doing in your body makes like total sense for the next few minutes. You mobilize energy to your bloodstream to hand over to whichever muscles are going to save your life. You increase your heart rate, your blood pressure, your breathing rate. You turn off everything in your body that is not essential. You turn off growth, digestion, reproduction, all of that. You enhance your immune defenses and you think more clearly. Your sensory thresholds get sharper. You get this flashbulb memory thing. And all of that makes perfect sense if you are avoiding a predator. And that's what's been done for 99% of vertebrate history. And then along come us and us other socially sophisticated primates, where we suddenly have the capacity to generate chronic psychological stress. And what you see there is why we get into trouble, because increase your blood pressure for 30 seconds running for your life, and that's a great thing. Increase it every single day because of traffic jams, and you're going to suffer from high blood pressure. And that winds up being the starting point for everything about why we humans are so vulnerable to stress-related disease. We turn on this ancient circuitry that's meant for dealing with a short-term problem, and we do it chronically. And if you do it chronically, you're going to get sick.
Yeah, you're going to get sick and you're going to yell at your kids. That's my premise. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
It's like, because our kids, our nervous system sees our kids as a threat in that situation. I think it's funny. I guess when I give this talk and I use your book, my argument is that no one's choosing to yell at their kids, which is interesting considering your latest book. Actually, no, it's not a choice we make yet. We're so hard on ourselves. We shame and blame ourselves. It's something we're responsible for, but it's not actually. One said, "Oh, I think I'm just going to scream at Sophie at 2:00." Right. So I don't know.
Exactly. And what that's tapping into is like one of the most reliable things. When you're stressed, there's a variety of coping mechanisms. You could try to get social support. You could try to get a sense of control or predictability, all of that. But if you're your basic social animal, one of the most reliable stress reducing things out there is to displace aggression on someone who is smaller and weaker. And that does wonders if you were a low-ranking baboon, if you were a lab rat, or if you're a stressed human. And unfortunately, displacing aggression is a pretty effective way of reducing stress. You sure are making that much more stress for everybody who is stuck around you. But say among baboons, for example, more than half of aggression is displacement aggression. Number 2 gets trounced by number 1 in a fight, and he spins around and he bites number 8. And number 8, who then goes and chases a female who slaps a juvenile who knocks an infant out of a tree, all in 30 seconds. And that winds up being a very good way of reducing stress. And that gives you one of those like basic sort of sound bites of stress management. Don't avoid ulcers by giving ulcers to everybody who is stuck around you. But what we see is during times of stress, aggression increases. displacement aggression onto somebody you could dump on increases, and that certainly explains a lot of family dynamics.
Yeah, why Big Brother is whacking little brother, and probably a lot of parental aggression with our kids. Like it could be displacement aggression in some ways.
Absolutely. And why you see that during periods of economic downturn, rates of spousal abuse increase, things of that sort. Even this is a study that is like crazy in terms of its implications. But you look at very fanatic football fans, and in the afternoon, after their home team loses, their rates of spousal abuse and child abuse go up.
Ay, 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 ay.
Yeah.